Breaking news!
The recent disappearance of Jet, the Boulder Chambers, Xander Gucky Supreme, Blueberry Sky Johnson, Maynard Kingsley, and Sebastian Vivaldi Greensleeves on the set of Through the Realms of Myria has an ongoing investigation to see what happened to the five and who is at fault. The evidence that has been compiled so far from the cast and crew is doubtful, as it was said that all of them had fallen unconscious. The director, Cliff Williams, of Through the Realms of Myria, is being charged with the murder of the five victims. The evidence has been found that the staff that was given to Maynard Kingsley for the retaping of the final scenes was rigged to explode when a keyword was said. The keyword was probably in the spell that was being read by the same actor. The director has been arrested this morning for his assumed crimes on the set of Through the Realms of Myria. They are now awaiting trial for the quintuple homicide of the five disappeared. And we're here with a new person. They have their own interesting theories on what has happened to the disappearance, so please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Rick. Roswell Rick, but people call me Richard for short.
What is your relationship to anybody in the disappearance or the disappearance itself?
Well, I'm not really related to the disappearance, but I do know Xander Gucci Supreme. He's a photographer just like me. We met each other out on the road several times. I really enjoyed the boy. Took a good picture every now and then, but he's a little crazy believing in aliens, he is. I think that boy crazy.
Very interesting. What is your theory as to what happened to the five people who have disappeared? I presume that it's not alien abduction, as you do not believe in that.
Yeah, right. As I said, I knew Xander because of our photography, and we got into many arguments over aliens. You see, I study the paranormal events. I am the lead researcher and photo videographer for Paranormal Lives, and I believe, as I've been trying to convince Xander of this, I believe that they have been ripped out of this life into the afterlife by some type of ghosts or paranormal entities. And I am researching this very thoroughly.
Oh, so you think that they have been killed? You think that they are dead or that they are not?
I think that physically their bodies are dead, but their souls have been ripped into the afterlife, and they are slave ghosts.
Very interesting. Do you have any evidence to back up your claim?
Well, as I mentioned, I am the lead researcher for Paranormal Lives. It's trying to normalize the paranormal. And I have loads and loads of video and photo evidence of the paranormal objects, the ghosts, the beings, taking people away and just watching their bodies dissolve. So I have yet to prove this theory for these specific people, but I believe that it is punishment for Xander and his heathen beliefs in aliens and his refusal to believe in the paranormal.
Very interesting. And finally, what is your opinion on the arrest of the director for the supposed murder of these five?
Well, it only makes sense that the authorities would be looking for a scapegoat such as the director. He was in charge of the movie, but he was set up. He was set up by the ghosts, I tell you.
So, final question as to more explanation. Do you believe that ghosts are inherently good, inherently evil, or some are both?
I believe that ghosts are much like man. That is, some are good, some are evil. But the jealous, evil ghosts are more powerful than you can imagine, and they are the ones who Xander has disrespected.
Very interesting, sir. Have a very nice day.
Thank you very much.
We are here with another person who has their own theories as to what has happened with the disappearance of the five. Please introduce yourself. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Olivia Rain.
What is your relationship to the disappearance or anybody involved in it?
Well, I was a PA on set. It was such a good film. It was going so well. And, I was there that day. I saw, it was such a horrible mess. They didn't deserve this, none of them. Especially Blueberry Sky. She is such an amazing actress. She didn't deserve it at all.
What are your theories as to what has happened to the five actors and people on set?
Well, I mean, I saw all the reports that say that the director killed them, and I just don't believe that at all, because Cliff, he is so sweet, and he's so talented, and he's amazing. He's almost as amazing as Blueberry Sky, and there's just no way he would have done it. But honestly, I really think that it was Chad over in special effects, because he absolutely had a vendetta out against Blueberry Sky, which is just ridiculous. I mean, it's not her fault. He asked her out once, but he was mumbling so much I overheard it. And she thought that he was asking if she wanted a burger, and she said no, because she's a vegetarian, and so am I, by the way. I'm such a big admirer of hers that after I heard that she's a vegetarian, I went ahead and I decided to change my diet too, which is such a brilliant thing. But he got so offended that she said no, and he was acting all weird. And I know that he had access to that thing that exploded. And I'm sure that it's his fault. I'm sure that he killed her.
I see that I have seen your evidence, so I do not have to ask you that one, as I would have asked everybody else. But what are your thoughts? I know that you don't think that the director did kill them, but what are your thoughts on the arrest of the director?
Oh, I think it was absolutely terrible that he got arrested. I mean, he's such a wonderful man. He's so tall and dreamy and talented. He doesn't deserve this at all. Cliff Williams would not. He would absolutely not kill them. I think it's an absolute travesty.
Alright, well, thank you very much for your time. Have a very good day.
Thank you.
We have another person here who has their own theory. So what's your name?
My name is Serenity Samantha DeSiena, but professionally I go by Samantha DeSiena.
What do you think could have happened during the disappearance of the 5 people from the cast and crew on the set?
I definitely think there was magic involved. I communicate with my deity, Apollo, and he is the god of truth, so he told me that they've made it to another world. Some magic happened, and they were transported to a different realm.
Very interesting theory. What is your relation to the disappearance? Like, how do you know any of the people or the cast generally?
I'm also an actress, so I've worked with them on a couple of things, and I've gotten to know them through that set.
All right. Another question. Do you have any other evidence besides your deity, as you say, told you that this was what has happened?
I don't have any physical evidence, but evidence that I know that it's the truth and that it was my actual deity and not some imposter was that he sent me a dream of what happened, and it included a raven, which is a symbol of Apollo. So that's how I know it was actually him telling me.
I see. Very, very interesting. Do you have any thoughts or feelings around the arrest of the director for the disappearance and plausible murder of the 4, according to the police? But I know that isn't your theory, but do you have any opinions, professionally or unprofessionally?
I think they're making a huge mistake. There was no murder involved. They were transported to a different world via the use of magic. And I think if the police could just believe and actually communicate with people who work with magic, they could find out the truth instead of wrongfully convicting an innocent man.
And one last question. Have you gone to the police with this information, or are you untrusting of them, or just any reasons that you would not have?
Frankly, I've been deemed insane in the past when I've told people my theories and my communication with my deity. So I don't really trust the police, because if they think that the director murdered everyone, I doubt they would believe me and the truth. I feel like they would just be like the others and call me insane.
I see. Well, thank you for your time. Yeah, that's all that I need from you. Have a very good day, and goodbye. We are here with the detective who found the director as his main suspect and who was arrested. So, what is your name, and what is your relationship to the incident?
Okay, so my name is Lucas Barlett. I am the lead detective in the investigation of the disappearance of the crew from the set of The Realms of Myriad.
Yes. And what is your presumption as to what happened in the disappearance?
So it would appear that the director had what seems to be a hidden vendetta against the crew, and has subsequently murdered a number of the cast via means of an explosive device within a particular prop which was given to the crew at the very last minute when they were recording some extra scenes in the studio.
Very interesting. What is your evidence towards this, other than that this is the prop that they were given last minute?
So, according to some of the witnesses that we have interviewed, they had mentioned about the director being very stressed about the movie and the deadline, and he had very suddenly changed his tune towards how they wanted to do the movie, and they were flown away back last minute, and the entire movie had been changed significantly, and we think this was part of the plot to remove the crew members and to have a nice insurance claim.
Very interesting. What is your opinion on the arrest of the director?
I think it's a pretty open and shut case to show that the director is the responsible party for the disappearance of the crew, and at this moment we believe that he is the main suspect.
And where did you find this? Like, how did you find the evidence given, unless that is out of your hands to decide who you tell?
So we, as I mentioned previously, we interviewed a number of the other surviving crew members, and all of them had mentioned about this one particular prop that had been given to the crew at the last moment, and it was only when a particular set of motions and words that were spoken, we believe it was set on a timer for this last particular scene. At that point there was an almighty explosion, and the crew reported that the missing people in question were no longer at their current location and had seemingly disappeared into nothingness.
Alright, well, thank you very much for your time, and have a very good day.
Many thanks.
Now we are here with a very exciting person. You may recognize them, but please introduce yourself.
I am Director Cliff Williams.
And we all know your relationship to the disappearance, but for anybody who doesn't, what is that?
I was the director on set for the film that was being recorded at the time of the disappearance of these very integral people to the success of this film, and everybody thinks that I am responsible for it. Can you believe that?
I understand that you disagree with the theory of the police, as their theory is that it was you who did it, but what is your theory as to what happened during this integral scene recording?
Honestly, I have no idea. Perhaps professional sabotage. I was on the cusp of the greatest theatrical achievement since the Return of the King. This can be nothing other than somebody trying to defame me for this wonderful masterpiece that we put together. That is the only explanation. And of course, they took Xander, who has the film.
Do you have any evidence to support your claim?
My evidence to support my claim is the evidence of why I would do it. I mean, just the thought of having to make my cast go missing. This is so good. We're going to have not just the sequel, but a saga. What actors? The best sound and editing person that I've ever had on set, and also the person who has all of the film on. Oh, right there, and the effects were so beautiful, and now it's gone.
What is your evidence that it was not you? Because I know that the police are saying that you are the culprit, so what is your evidence against them?
Here, I've done nothing but been cooperative with the authorities on this. They've searched all of my estates. They've searched the entirety of the studio, everywhere that I could potentially have access to. They have found nothing to implicate me in these crimes. And worst yet, they have yet to find the actors and all of the footage. So we are now sitting here with an incomplete film, and I hope whoever is responsible for this tragedy is happy.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and have a very good day, Cliff Williams.
Yes, of course.